What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your Black History Month for day, in fact, for day 8. Who is Bayard Rustin? Okay, that's him on the screen. You may or may not have heard of Mr. Rustin, but for those who haven't, let's learn a little something, something. Mr. Rustin was born in Westchester, Philadelphia on March 17th, 1912. Rustin was one of 12 children raised by their grandparents. It is believed that his devotion to civil rights was formed by his grandmother, whose work with the NAACP resulted in leaders of the Black community, such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Mary McLeod Bethune, visiting the Rustin home during his Quaker upbringing. Rustin was present at the creation of a host of pivotal American liberation movements. He helped found the Congress of Racial Equality, also known as CORE, and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, two civil rights organizations that were focused on ending the Jim Crow era of racial segregation. He worked with the Black Trade Union by A. Philip Randolph, and in 1941 helped plan the March on Washington, which bore fruit in an executive order by President Roosevelt banning racial discrimination in the nation's defense industries. Rustin and Randolph worked again in 1948 on a successful campaign that ended segregation in the U.S. military under Harry Truman. He was a pacifist and protested World War II while resisting the draft, and as a result was imprisoned in 1944 as a conscientious objector. His role in the Montgomery bus boycott. Because of the work to integrate public transportation, Randolph suggested in 1956 that Rustin meet with a young preacher in Alabama who was organizing a bus boycott there. That meeting with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King during the Montgomery bus boycott of 1956 changed both men forever. From then on, Rustin advised King on the principles of Gandhi and nonviolent direct action. When combined with lawsuits, voter registration drives, and lobbying efforts, ultimately leading to the passage of both the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. For Rustin, Black progress depended on politics and economics. To that end, in 1966, Rustin proposed the Freedom Budget for All Americans that promised every American employment and income and access to health care. His proposal became a template for progressive political activism going into the 21st century. Um, Rustin is best remembered as an organizer and orchestrator of arguably the seminal event of American civil rights history, which would be the 1963 March on Washington. Because of him, this went on because the event almost did not happen. Now, for a lot of people right now, you're probably thinking, I've never heard of him. He was such a pivotal part of the civil rights movement. Why have we never heard of Bayard Rustin? Well, here's why you've never heard of Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin was an open homosexual. So imagine 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, Bayard Rustin being openly gay was not something that was advertised and was not necessarily, people felt comfortable having him at the forefront of the movement. He did have some arrests on his record for like indecent exposure and stuff like that, because we know that, gay men were, and women were often persecuted just to be out with another man or be showing any sort of intimacy with another man. And so he knew that his criminal record and his sexuality would be a distraction to the movement. And so he played the background, even though he was a major puppet master of the civil rights movement. You can you guys can do your own research and look up. There have been many, articles, and there's a really great book that was written about Bayard Rustin's life. So yeah, you guys, that is your fact for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.